Hi, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System and Coaching. And I'm glad to be here each and every week to do these business leadership lives in 15 minutes. I do them for a couple of reasons. One of them is for you to be able to shift your perspective, if you will, about your business, shift your vantage, and really turn that into a competitive edge. And then the second reason is for you to take one action item away each and every week and really implement that in your business. What I found is a lot of owners think that they have to do these big, massive changes, but it's really small shifts that can make an impact on your business. So, a question that I get asked very often is, Marianne, who do you work with? And I work with single location automotive shop owners who really feel consumed by their business. They believe that their business is their whole life and they really want to have a life. So that's where I come in and I help what I call rid themselves of owner overload. So today's topic is tips for managing conflict. Who hasn't dealt with conflict either personally or professionally, right? We all have. And it's a never-ending type of thing. So if you find this valuable, please share it with another business owner that you know. I find that business owners are very giving and they want to help each other. So on this topic, tips for managing conflict, every day people face some form of conflict. We know that we do. And the more people that we deal with, the more chance, right, that there's some type of conflict that's going to happen or develop because everyone has different personalities. So, as an owner, you are setting an example for your team, the suppliers that you deal with, the vendors that you deal with, and customers, which really has a direct impact on your business, your reputation. So you really need to be mindful of when you're dealing with conflict that your team is always watching you and you need to be an example. Clients will often tell me that they dread dealing with conflict because they see it as, I don't think it's ever going to be truly resolved, Marianne. Like, I don't know how to go about dealing with it. So we're actually going to fix it and resolve it. And what happens is they often tell me that they avoid conflict, hoping that it will kind of rectify itself. Or the other reason they say they're really fearful of saying the wrong thing and making matters worse. So the problem with this is that the conflict doesn't get addressed and it really can lead to long-term negative impact on your business. It doesn't go away. It just gets worse very, very slowly. And mainly I find what it has to do with is culture. So I want to talk today about the 5 degrees of conflict because there is conflict on different levels. And maybe you're okay with it on one level, but then as it gets a little bit heavier and meatier, you may have a little bit of a challenge with that. So let's go through these 5 quickly so that we're all on the same page when it comes to conflict. So minor disagreements. This is when there's like a small difference of opinion or maybe even a minor misunderstanding among team members. And this can create tension and it can affect morale over time if it's not addressed. And I'm sure you might be able to think of a couple of examples about when this happened. It could be maybe one person, the way that they want to approach a job, and another person wants to approach it a different way. Excuse me, interpersonal conflicts. This is when there's a conflict between individuals. And this is due to the personality differences that they have, or it could be the communication styles or competing priorities. And it really can lead to decreased productivity, strained relationships, and a toxic work environment. We don't want that. So when we think about that, there are people that have different communication styles and different personalities. So, addressing those and understanding how to communicate with each person is very important. I call the next one front and back disputes. So, this is when you have conflict between different areas or different departments in a business or a different team. And it can really hinder collaboration and really coordination, everybody being, coordinating and on the same team and collaborating. So think about the front counter where the sales is happening, the customer service is happening, and in the back of the shop where the production is going on. If there's miscommunication, the back may not understand that Mrs. Smith's vehicle needs to be done first. It was promised. They may want to do another job first because they know that they can get it done quicker. So we have to have clear communication and really stop disputes from one part of the business and another part of the business, because that can slow everything down. The next one is leadership challenges. Now, this is when there's conflicts that involve leadership, and it can have significant impact, significant ramifications for the entire business. This is sometimes when people don't know who's in charge, right? It's a disagreement and we get into power struggles. Someone thinks they know better. They're going to do things their way, but management said they want it done a certain way and they had a reason for that. Or maybe the boss is away and everyone thinks they're the one in charge. There's no real direction. So what happens is decisions don't get made because there's no lack of direction. You have to be able to put someone in charge and let them know what's going on, what the expectations are if you're away. Because if people are confused about who's in charge and there's a power struggle, really, this is when trust is lost. And it actually, management and all of that can be undermined. And lastly, business crisis. Now, fortunately, these don't happen all the time, but there are extreme cases where conflicts can really escalate into full-blown crisis. And it can really threaten the stability and the reputation of a business. This could be a disgruntled team member online posting things about the business. This could be reviews that are bad reviews that are taken to another level because you didn't handle them in a very positive way. You were frustrated when you or your team responded to them. And, there may be even situations where someone on the front counter is getting into an argument with a customer, and a customer really takes their frustration to the next level, and you can have, lawsuits, things like that are going on. So we don't want it to get to that point. We want to handle things early. So I want to share with you, when it comes to resolving conflict, what is it that you can actually do? What will actually help? So the first thing is you have to have open communication. You want to have an environment where people know that they can talk to you, where they know that it's an open door and they can come to you with any concerns that you have. The next thing is you want to address these issues promptly. You want to deal with conflict as soon as it arises. And you really want to prevent any kind of escalation and resentment, because sometimes when people are like, they're kind of stewing, they're upset about something and it's kind of brewing in them, it gets bigger than it really is. So you want to address things promptly. The third thing is you want to focus on the solutions. It's easy to get stuck and focus on the problem, but we want to go past that and start focusing on the solution. Shift that way of thinking. so that it's mutually beneficial to everyone that's involved. The fourth one is remain calm and professional. I know this can be hard. I know it could be a real challenge because it's easy to remain calm and professional when everything's going well, when no one is heated. But this is really a test on your leadership. You have to keep your composure even when you're having difficult conversations, because what'll happen is if you keep your emotions in check, you will really be in control of the whole situation, and you'll be able to facilitate constructive dialogue between people. Once you lose your composure, then it's not going to work. You're not going to get anywhere. The fifth one is seek understanding. Take time to understand the reasons behind the conflict. Really listen actively, not just to wait till someone's done talking so that you can say what you need to say. Really listen, empathize, and understand where they're coming from. Repeat that back to them too. Here's what I believe you're saying to me. Let me make sure that I heard this correctly. Get confirmation from them. And lastly, number 6, adjust and follow up. So it's really important to implement anything that you agreed on, anything, a solution, what you were going to do, anything that was discussed. You want to implement it. You want to take action. Then what you want to do is you want to follow up with both parties, and you want to make sure that you're reviewing those results and that they're working, that you came to some type of an agreement and everyone is satisfied. The thing to remember here is that people, when they really need to know that you have their back, and they need to know that you're a resource, that you can be the person that they could rely on. Having this process to deal with and resolve conflict is a win for everyone. You can't have one person win and another person feel like they lost. It has to be a situation where everyone feels like they're winning. And you can use this framework, you can use this personally and professionally. To tell you the truth, I notice that as when I grow professionally in my business, it helps me personally as well. And my personal relationships, it's a win-win, and vice versa. Right? It helps both parts of your life. So here are the benefits of conflict. The benefits are when you can resolve conflict, there's definitely a great side to this. And I want to talk about those benefits. Improve relationships. That's like, oh, definitely a win. Successfully resolving conflicts can really strengthen relationships among the team. They really understand one another. They understand where they're coming from. So that relationship, that bond is much stronger. Enhanced communication. Addressing any misunderstandings can really improve communication, and it can promote effective teamwork, people wanting to work together and collaborating. Increased productivity, right? When you resolve conflicts, it really minimizes the disruptions that happen to the workflow and productivity. Innovation and creativity. So again, conflict resolution actually encourages the exchange of different perspectives and ideas, and this leads to growth. Another one is skills development. You're actually building skills to resolve conflicts. Your team and everyone there is really learning that skill that they can use personally. So constructive resolution creates a really positive and supportive work environment and job satisfaction. They don't go home stressed out about something and thinking about work at home and having it affect their personal life. They know that things are going to be addressed and taken care of. And that really does increase job satisfaction. And the last one is long-term stability. Resolving conflicts effectively can really contribute to the long-term stability and success of the business. So that's huge. So there are benefits. I know in many cases, owners try to avoid conflict, but in many cases, there are so many benefits to resolving conflict and learning these skills. So I'd love to leave you with a pro thinking tip. Many owners believe that they are right and others are the problem. As long as you share the same core values and together are working towards the same business goals, you can resolve conflict quickly by valuing others and their contributions, by addressing underlying issues and preventing reoccurring conflicts. Business can minimize disruption, right? Minimize it, retain talent. That's what we all want to do. We want to attract top talent, but we don't want to lose them. We want to retain them. And we want to maintain a competitive edge. So that's it for this week's Business Leadership in 15 minutes. I'm glad you're here. Again, if you find it valuable, share it. And if you have any comments, I will respond to all of them, even if you're watching this on the replay. So thanks for being here and have an enjoyable week.